All right, created in 1945 to reduce poverty and stabilizing foreign currency funds, the World Bank and have continually struggled to meet the expectations of their major shareholders. A group comprising many of the world's rich nations. So there is referring to this group. The World Bank have continually struggled to meet the expectations of their shareholders, but I don't think the word but makes sense here. I think the word and probably makes more sense. Or some but neglected there. Yeah, I don't think the word but and neglect. They're intended beneficiaries in the developing world. Continually struggled as they tried to meet the expectations of the major shareholders while neglecting that of. So I don't think these two are parallel, struggled and neglecting. They're not parallel. So I'll get rid of them. Yeah, not sure. Struggled. Continually struggled while neglecting. Does this have to be? I struggled while neglecting that off. What is the expectations of struggled? Had to struggle. Yeah, just not sure. Not sure. So continually had to struggle and while neglecting. Does this have to be parallel? Well, while is not a parallel marker. So, well, in this case, and is. So while does not have to be parallel. Because of the while, it's not a parallel marker. So you don't need to, this does not, these two don't have to be parallel to this. I mean, it's maybe it's a bonus if it turns out to be, but certainly no, it's certainly no requirement. Let me just had to struggle. While neglect. Okay, so let's forget that. Continually struggled. Had continually struggled versus had to struggle continually. In trying, they had to struggle in trying. They continually struggled as they tried. This seems to be suggesting that the word continually has to do with in trying. That means they're even trying to meet their expectations. They struggled. Whereas this is more, they struggled because they tried to meet their expectations. They struggled because B seems to be suggesting to me struggled as because Sam had to pay back 100K. Sam struggled to pay back. Little slight difference. Here, this is talking about that you cannot even pay the 100K, whereas this, I think, is saying you are paying the 100K, but you're struggling. Maybe other items are not doing well. So, so then what's the issue? They continually. So I think from a meaning perspective, what does make sense for struggle to be? Struggle continuously. This is option B. Where is this? I don't think it makes sense. You say you struggle continually in trying to meet the expectations. I mean, I don't think it's equivalent to saying that you struggled as they try to meet. Yeah, I think the word as makes sense because this is saying that as they're trying to meet expectations, you're struggling. Whereas same thing, struggled as you pay back the 100K in lost damages. So this is my equivalent of a green. Oops. Whereas this is my equivalent for blue. Yeah, this is the equivalent. You struggled. I don't think you say you struggled continually in trying to meet the expectations. You struggled as you try to meet. Whereas everything else is all the same. Of the shareholders, a group consisting many of the world's rich nations while neglecting them. So B versus D, there's no difference except the word of had to struggle. I think the struggle is the verb. Whereas this over here, it's they struggled. No, they had to. Also, they struggle. They had to struggle. Isn't this past perfect? I had to eat. What is had to eat? Or which grammar is this? Had to eat. They struggled. This is past perfect and it's finished while neglecting that. They had to eat before. What is had to eat? I think they continually struggled. They had to struggle. This is almost like an obligation. Continually, they had to struggle in trying to meet. They had to struggle. Uh, they had to struggle. I don't know. This is a modal verb, obviously. They had to eat. She had to eat. Yeah, this is some kind of obligation almost. They had to struggle some kind of obligation. So I think between B and D, I would choose B. Thank you.